Right. Nancy Giacolone, welcome to the Benefits Mom podcast.
Thank you, Tara. I'm pleased to be here.
Okay. Now, we are both similarly in the benefits industry. So, what about it really drew you to it over other insurance lines?
Well, that's where I started, honestly. So I started working for when I first got into benefits in my early 20s. I was working for a broker that did employee benefits, and I just thought it was fascinating, and I liked the helping people component of it.
Yeah, and you actually are helping the smallest of companies. Don't you have very small groups in your book?
I have individuals, I have Medicare clients, I have groups that have 5 employees, and I have groups that have 500 employees. So we definitely run the gamut. But I have a special place in my heart for the small business because I'm a small business.
Right. Yeah, we were talking before that when you first started, there was something that happened that kind of led you to wanting to be on your own. Can you share with us what that experience was like?
Sure. So I started actually, to kind of take you all the way back to the beginning. I started as an administrative assistant for an insurance agency back in the 80s. And I quickly decided that I liked it and I wanted an opportunity to sell. And so I went to the owner and I said, I'd really like to do this. And he said that he didn't think I would be very good at it, and because I wasn't outgoing enough. So I said, well, you know what? I'd like to try it anyway. And his response was, well, okay, I'll give you a shot, but you're going to have to take a cut in pay, and you're still going to have to do your secretarial duties for half the day. And I said, that's fine, I'll do that. So about a year later, he ended up selling me some of his shares in the company. And so I bought into that agency. And I was there for about 10 years until they decided that they wanted to merge with a larger firm. And it was just kind of a deja vu of the good old boys thing all over again.
Ah,
And they wanted to put me back in the corner and, make me be an admin person. And I said, no, I'm not really down for that. So I decided to start my own agency. And so I took a very small portion of my book of business and I went out on my own. And that was 24 years ago.
very good. That's awesome. I love hearing stories about that because I think that people sometimes think that the old boys school has gone away and but there's still, yeah, I see you shake your head. I know I've still experienced it too, and I come from a legal background and there's still people that want to, look at it as an administrative part. So how do you see the workplace? Do you still see that in even some of the clients that you have? There's still that dynamic?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to say that it's not relevant and it's not present anymore. But I see it with my clients. I see it at industry events. I see it on forums where some of the brokers that I like and respect, quite frankly, devolve down into bro talk, and it's like, don't do that.
Yeah, we're all equal now, right?
Yeah.
Yes. When you were starting out your business, how did you find the balance between being a mom and then running your own business? Because I know a lot of women are looking to do that now, just in the environment that we're in, but they're scared about having that balance and not, neglecting the family to build up the business. So what did you find was a good balance for you?
Well, that's a really good question. And being a mom was really important to me, and being a good mom was very important to me, but being successful at my job was also important to me. So it was a challenge to try to figure out how to get all that to work. The first year that I was in business on my own, um, I was my I was the one and only employee, and I had a small office that was not in the same town where I live. But my son was in daycare fairly close to where I worked. And when it came time for him to go into kindergarten, he was going to be across the bridge geographically from where I was at. And I was not comfortable with that. So at that time, I made the decision to move my office back into my house so that I could be there to take him to the bus stop, to pick him up from the bus stop, to do all of those things. And I sometimes I made decisions that, maybe a man would not have made, because my family was important enough to me that I would put things, I'd say, okay, well, I can't take that project on, or I can't take that client on. But I did everything I could with the time that I did have available to me. But I was never going to let my family be second.
Absolutely. I agree with that so much. It's finding that balance, picking things that work related just are not the priority, and that's so important. How do you instill that in the employees that you have right now
Well,
working?
that's just one of my core agency values, is that I always tell people that work is important, and I'd like you to give your best while you're here, but I understand that you're a person and you have a family, and I always want to provide the opportunity for that. I've always told people, if it's important to me, I can't expect it not to be important to you. And that's one of the reasons that even in my agency, we don't work a full 40-hour week. We have a little bit of shortened work days. We leave early on Fridays just to allow that little bit of extra time for people to have in their personal life or to spend with their family, and try and really have that flexibility.
Yeah, that's great. I like the early Fridays. I should go out to the West Coast now.
Yeah.
What did you say? Because I hear this a lot from moms who run their own business, that there's like moments that they do things with their kids, or there's a school outing where they're so grateful that they have the ability to do those things and be their own business. So is there like one like memory that you have, or like, oh, I'm so glad I was able to do this with my son because I have my own business?
Yeah, that's really a good question. I did every school outing. I signed up for them all, and that was always a priority. It went right on my calendar, and I scheduled around it, because it was important for me to be there. But one of the things that stands out to me, as far as the opportunity to do things with my son, was when he was in elementary school. I can remember there was one particular field trip where they went out. We went out, all the kids went out on a boat in the Puget Sound and got to explore all the sea life. And I just remember the wonder on those kids' faces and how thrilled they were. And I remember, watching my son with there's two other kids. I can just picture it in my head, crystal clear, what a great experience that was for them. And getting to see that, I would have been sad if I wouldn't have had that opportunity.
I love that. I feel the same way when I see my boys like light up during the experience. It's a great feeling.
I love all the things you're doing with your kids with the Legos. That's really cool.
They love Legos, and I'm glad that I have projects I can do Legos with, because otherwise
Yeah.
I'd have to find something else. In our industry, what do you think it would take, or what kind of initiative to move it forward to a place where women felt like they could take on a agency by themselves, or run it kind of like you had, and really stand up and say, no, I can be a producer, I can be a partner? What do you see as a change that we need?
I think that we as women need to support other women, and we need to tell people it's okay to be strong. It's okay to have a firm voice. It's okay to be confident. It's okay to say, you know what, I'm not going to do that because I'm going to spend this time with my family. It really is incumbent on I think on women as much as anything else, to spread that word to other women and say, we want more of you in this industry. I mean, to this day, it's still 75-25 men versus women in this industry. And the women in this industry are primarily in support roles.
Yeah, I have a little bit of graciousness in one agency, that all the account executives are women, which is great, but there's still lots of, at the top, males. So like you're saying, just be strong, be your own advocate, and just keep pushing, and you'll get there. You'll get recognized.
Yeah, and I just think it's really, for all women, is just, we really need to empower them to say, give it a try. If you don't like it, that's okay. But if you do like it, then run with it, and be proud of being a female, and don't try to be a man. Be a female, be a mom, and be great at this benefits game.
Yeah, I think that's so true is to be a woman. That's I'm one of the books I read during COVID-19 was about that. It's like don't try to be a man, be a woman. There's great qualities to that.
When before I started in benefits, I actually worked for an automotive parts company. I was one of 6 female sales reps out of a force of about 200. And again, back in my early 20s, it was really interesting because I always said I had doors open for me because I was a woman, and I had doors closed to me because I was a woman. And so what you need to do is not feel bad about those closed doors, but take advantage of the open doors. And I still think about that to this day, is that that's what we need to do, capitalize on our strengths.
Yes, absolutely. And what advice would you give to a mom who's had to make a pivot now in the times that we're in and is starting their own business? What advice would you give to them?
I would say to be sure and create a schedule for yourself. Create a schedule and treat your business like a business. So even if you're operating it in your home, have office hours, even if that's a corner of your kitchen table, but have office hours, have a daily commitment that you're going to get done in your business every single day, and then have family time hours as well, so that you have a schedule and you have accountability to yourself.
I like that. I'm a big fan of time blocking, as I know you've seen on
Yeah.
LinkedIn. Now we get to the fun part. I have all these fun questions I like to ask people. So Nancy, this weekend you can have a day where you can eat anything you want and there's no consequences. What are you going to eat?
French fries.
French fries. Do you have a favorite fast food place for French fries?
I like the hand cut French fries, with a really good dipping sauce, but I am a potato girl.
Ah, gotcha. On French fries, I love McDonald's. At my old job, I used to just eat that for lunch sometimes, going between facilities. Just grab some from the drive-thru.
No one's going to get mad at McDonald's French fries.
No, absolutely not. Since you're from Washington, I have to ask you, Seattle's best or Starbucks?
Starbucks.
Starbucks? There's not too much Seattle's best. There's Whole Foods sometimes will have them, so I was curious to see if it was worth the buy from you.
And they're good, but I like Starbucks.
What is the one thing in the morning that you have to do before you start work?
When I get to the office or before I leave the house,
Before you leave the house.
I have to make the beds.
Make the beds. Oh, that's a new one. I haven't heard that one.
I cannot leave for work. I can't do it. The beds have to be made.
Well, I like that. My brother in the Navy would appreciate that a lot. What is your ideal vacation spot to go?
Well, my favorite vacation spot that I've been to and I really enjoy is San Diego. I love everything about San Diego. My bucket list vacation is Italy.
Oh, that's I like that bucket list. And if you had a magic wand, Miss Nancy, and you could change one thing about the world, what would you change?
I think I would just make it kinder.
Kinder. I like that. Very kind people. We definitely need some more of that.
Yeah, I think we need more kindness.
Okay. Nancy, thank you so much for coming on. I definitely learned a lot, and I learned a lot from watching you on LinkedIn. So thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you, Tara. It was a lot of fun. You have a great day.
You too.
Okay, bye-bye.